She's rough, she's tough. But outside of the reality TV chaos of hardcore pawn, Ashley Gold is something more.
There's a whole lot of drama, and it's probably a good thing that you're on a reality TV show that's one of the most successful to date. It's called Hardcore Pawn.
Going head to head.
One by one, familiar faces vanished from the screen without warning. What happened to some of these people? What was the reason behind their bizarre disappearance? Join us as we unveil the tragic reasons 10 beloved Hardcore Pawn members suddenly vanished from the show. Number 10. Karen Mitchell. Karen Mitchell stood out as one of the most cherished. Her warm presence often diffused the tension. Fans quickly grew attached to her, seeing her as the heartbeat of the Gold family's bustling pawn shop. But behind the steady smile, Karen faced a difficult personal battle. Health struggles began to weigh heavily on her, eventually forcing her to step back from the store and the cameras. For loyal viewers who had grown used to her lighthearted energy, her absence was deeply felt. Then, in 2020, heartbreaking news spread across fan circles. Karen had passed away after a brief illness. The announcement shook the community, leaving many stunned and mourning the loss of someone who had touched lives not just through a TV screen, but through her genuine compassion. But Karen wasn't the only hardcore pawn star whose story ended in tragedy. Number 9. Carlos Diaz. Carl was one of the most colorful faces on Hardcore Pawn, Chicago, the spin-off that captured the raw, unpredictable energy of the Windy City's pawn scene. Working at Royal Pawn Shop in the Loop, Carlos quickly built a reputation for his bold attitude and fiery personality. One of the most talked about moments came when Carlos, tired of feeling underpaid for his security guard work, simply walked off the job. His dramatic exit forced shop owners Randy and Wayne Cohen to scramble for a replacement. Tragically, Carlos's story was cut short. In 2020, at just 48 years old, he passed away. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed he was pronounced dead in the late afternoon, shocking fans and leaving a void in the Royal Pawn Shop family. Tragically, Carlos's story ended far too soon, leaving fans stunned and his shop family grieving. But the next story isn't about loss. Number 8. Seth Gold. Being Les Gold's son, Seth Gold was never seen as just a cast member, but with the title came equal responsibilities. Unfortunately, those responsibilities came with a heavy cost. Seth pushed himself constantly, always trying to solve problems before they exploded, but the non-stop pressure eventually wore him down. By 2015, Seth began disappearing from the show, drained by endless deadlines and exhausting behind-the-scenes responsibilities. Then came the life-changing moment. In 2019, while riding his motorcycle in Detroit, Seth suffered a brutal crash. The impact was devastating. He broke multiple bones, suffered internal injuries, and damaged his chest and legs. Doctors rushed him into surgery after surgery. Recovery was slow and painful. The man who once controlled every deal now faced the challenge of learning to walk without constant pain. But while he struggled off-screen, another star faced a different kind of pressure, the unrelenting spotlight. Number 7. Bobby J. Bobby J was one of those unforgettable faces on Hardcore Pawn. He was the man who could turn any tricky deal into a win, but being on camera came with its own crushing weight. Every move he made was scrutinized. However, he carried that pressure quietly, often looking serious, even tense. Unlike some of his louder co-stars, he wasn't one to joke around much. After 3 intense seasons, he chose to step back from the spotlight, chasing a quieter path away from the pawn shop drama. Fans were surprised, but the truth was far more heartbreaking. In 2018, Bobby's life took a devastating turn when he suffered a massive stroke in the middle of the night. The medical crisis left him struggling with speech and movement, forcing him into a long road of therapy and recovery. For a man once known for handling money with lightning-fast focus, this was a cruel twist of fate. But while his battle was with health, another star's story was moving in another direction. Number 6. Ashley Gold. Ashley Gold grew up surrounded by the chaos and drama of American jewelry and loan. As the daughter of Les Gold, Ashley was the razor-sharp manager who could calm storms and out-talk tough customers. Working alongside her father and brother, she became the glue that held the high-pressure environment together. Yet, as episodes rolled on, viewers noticed a shift. Ashley's commanding presence began to fade. She was on screen less. What many didn't realize was that off-camera, Ashley was facing personal health struggles, while also shifting her focus toward her own family life.
Most importantly, the 38-year-old says she gets to be home with her husband and 8 and 10-year-olds, living the life she didn't think possible, a businesswoman with time for her family.
Though her role on the show lessened, her influence never disappeared. She stood as the steady hand in the background, always supporting her father and reminding fans that behind every explosive reality show is someone holding the foundation together. And speaking of steady forces, another figure won fans with his calm confidence in the chaos, until one shocking incident changed everything. Number 5. Rich Pyle. When Hardcore Pawn first aired, Rich Pyle stood out because of his quiet personality. Viewers admired the way he held the chaos together, turning unpredictability into order. What fans didn't see was the history behind the cameras. Rich and Les Gold weren't just co-workers, they were partners forged through 25 years of battles with Detroit's toughest crowds. That kind of bond should have been unbreakable. Yet in 2012, everything collapsed. A secret emerged that shocked even those closest to him. Rich had been dipping into company money for years. The revelation left Les devastated, and the trust that had built their friendship was shattered overnight. Losing the job hurt, but what crushed Rich even more was losing the family he thought he'd never be without. Once pushed out, he faced the harsh reality that no other job could mirror that life. He tried TV again, bringing humor and personality, but never returned to pawnbroking. Losing the job broke Rich in ways the cameras never showed, leaving a void no new venture could ever fill. But while his story faded quietly, another cast member's tale exploded with shocking revelations. Number 4. Big Joe, American Jewelry and Loan, the man trusted to keep chaos under control. But behind that intimidating presence was a secret that would shatter his image and shock loyal fans. Big Joe's downfall came when he was caught in a scandal that blindsided everyone. He was arrested for stealing scrap gold, a betrayal that not only cost him his position, but also his place on the show. For viewers who had grown used to seeing him break up fights and protect the business, his sudden disappearance left a bitter aftertaste. Yet Big Joe didn't vanish into obscurity. Reinventing himself, he stepped away from the pawn world and took a surprising turn. Today, he runs High Gear Transportation, a trucking and logistics company based in Livonia, Michigan. Meanwhile, another fan favorite with a look you couldn't forget faced a very different twist. Number 3. Fielding Teichmann. When fans think back to Hardcore Pawn, it's impossible not to picture Fielding Felix Teichmann, with his trademark long, thick beard that made him instantly recognizable on screen. As a trusted security guard at American Jewelry and Loan, his presence added a rugged edge to the chaotic energy of the pawn shop. Yet, as the show surged in popularity, something unusual happened. By the 6th season, Felix quietly vanished from the cast, and what puzzled viewers most was the eerie silence surrounding his departure. No official explanation came from the producers, leaving fans to speculate and wonder why one of the familiar faces had suddenly disappeared. Unlike other cast members who thrived on attention, Felix chose a completely different path after the cameras stopped rolling. He distanced himself from the spotlight, keeping his social media activity faint and his personal life tightly guarded. Eventually, in 2016, Felix made a major move, relocating to Austin, Texas, where he embraced a life far removed from the frenzy of reality TV. For loyal fans, his story remains one of the show's lingering mysteries. A reminder that behind the fiery drama and explosive confrontations, some cast members preferred peace and privacy over fame. Felix's sudden disappearance may never be fully explained, but it left a mark on fans who still remember the bearded guard who once kept order inside Detroit's most famous pawn shop. But not every disappearance came from silence. Some were loud, wild, and unforgettable. Number 2. Carneal, Hook, Steiger. Carneal was working as part of the security team at American Jewelry and Loan. One of the reasons he stood out was for the hilarious pranks he pulled alongside his colleagues. His lighthearted antics often left customers caught off guard and fans laughing, though management wasn't always amused. Warnings eventually followed his playful streak. Still, his larger-than-life presence made him a fan favorite and kept viewers entertained throughout his run on the show. Hook remained a staple until the 20th episode of Season 8, after which he suddenly disappeared from the screen, leaving many wondering what happened to him. Unlike other reality stars who chase the spotlight long after their TV careers end, Hook chose a quieter path. Reports suggest he still resides in Detroit, Michigan, the city where the show was filmed and where he first earned his reputation as a bold, no-nonsense security guard with a taste for humor. Staying away from social media and the public eye, Hook seems to prefer living on his own terms, far removed from the drama and attention that once surrounded him. Though he no longer appears on television, his legacy on Hardcore Pawn lives on, with fans continuing to remember him as the sharp, funny, and unpredictable security guard who brought both laughter and chaos to the pawn shop floor. And now, the moment we've been building to, the man who started it all, the unstoppable force at the heart of Hardcore Pawn. Number 1. Les Gold. Les was the heartbeat of Hardcore Pawn. Fearless, outspoken, and always ready for confrontation, he gave the show the fiery spark fans couldn't get enough of. But behind the confident exterior was a story far deeper than the wild drama viewers saw on screen. Born on June 20, 1950, in Detroit, Les grew up in his grandfather's pawn shop, a treasure trove of rare items and unforgettable encounters. While most kids played outside, young Les studied deals, learning the art of negotiation long before he ever thought of television. By age 12, he had already closed his first big sale, a diamond ring that ignited a lifelong passion. Determined, he refused the industry slow him down. His dream was simple, yet powerful, to create one of the largest and most trusted pawn shops in America. That dream became reality when Hardcore Pawn premiered on August 16, 2010, showcasing high-stakes trades, explosive confrontations, and raw family dynamics. Some critics whispered that scenes were staged, but Les insisted every moment captured the real chaos of running a pawn shop. Then, in 2019, everything changed. After an ordinary day, he felt chest pains that turned into a massive heart attack. The shocking news, shared by his son Seth, forced Les to step away from the spotlight. For a man who thrived on adrenaline, slowing down was painful, but it revealed a truth: even the strongest giants carry hidden battles. Who was your favorite Hardcore Pawn cast member, and why did they stand out to you? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.